There's a natural mystic flowing through the air. If you listen carefully now, you will hear. This could be the first trumpet, might as well be the last. Many more we got to suffer, many more we got to die. Don't ask me what. Things are not the way they used to be. One and all we got to face reality.
Kala pembungi antete, penda kala pe yantuka, bantu bingi si ba monampasi, beba bingi si parfois, budi budiko.
Things are not the way them used to be. One and all we got to face reality.
Hold on, just a little bit longer. I know in time you'll feel a little stronger. And try just a little bit harder. When you feel like quitting, time to give it your all. Just a little bit loud, just a little bit louder. Who cares if they think that there's something funny about you? And smile just a little bit brighter, and all of your troubles will seem a little lighter. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Do 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 just a little bit, just a little bit, just a little bit. Do you feel a little freer? Just a little bit.
Dear participants, may I briefly have your attention before starting the session, as I would like to make an announcement about the interpretation and connection arrangements. As usual, the debates will be interpreted in English and French, which are the working languages of the committee, and in addition, we will have interpretation in Spanish for the entire duration of the session, thanks to the generous support of the Kingdom of Spain. At the bottom of your screen, you will find the button to select the interpretation language. This is an online meeting that is operated through the Zoom platform, And in order to take the floor, you will need to be connected to the session using an active meeting link. As communicated by the electronic circular letter that the Secretariat sent on the 5th of December, each state party is guaranteed one active connection, with committee members receiving 2. In addition, submitting states that have nomination files examined under item 8 may each receive an additional active connection. Additional connections may be provided upon request and depending on availability. And if you require an active connection, please make sure that you are registered through our online registration form on the website of the 2003 convention. And please send us a request by using the email address indicated on the screens, ichmeetings@unesco.org. We are now ready to start. Thank you.
Ms. Audrey Uzele, Director General of UNESCO, committee members, excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it is my greatest pleasure to welcome you to the 15th session of the Intergovernmental Committee for the Safeguarding of Intangible Cultural Heritage. I'm particularly honored to welcome the Director General of UNESCO, Ms. Audrey Uzele. Thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. I would also like to recognize the presence of all the ministers and dignitaries of the states parties who are joining us online to attend this session of the committee, as well as non-states parties to the convention, experts and representatives of non-governmental organizations and civil society. The Secretariat has informed me that we have 737 participants from 133 countries registered to join us online through Zoom and through the webcast. I would like to thank you all for being with us today, particularly those of you who may be connecting quite early or quite late because of your time zone. It is your dedication and adaptability that will make this online session of the committee a success, and for this, I'm truly grateful. Ladies and gentlemen, while we had hoped to be welcoming you all to Jamaica for the committee meeting, this has not been possible due to the pandemic. However, as your chairperson, I will do my best to convey to you the Jamaican warmth and hospitality so that you can all feel like you're here with us in Kingston. In short, let's get together and feel all right. And in that regard, we have organized a special treat for you, Reggae Greetings from Jamaica, featuring some of our international reggae ambassadors. This short but entertaining video will feature Peter Morgan of Morgan Heritage, Marcia Griffiths of the I3s, Bob Marley I3s, that really melodic trio of ladies who toured with Bob Marley as his background vocals, and Michael Rose of Black Uhuru, appearing alongside the Inner Circle Band. That comes up shortly as a part of our opening segment today. I'm certainly looking forward to us all working together over the next 6 days, and I'm confident we can take all of our necessary decisions even through this new online medium. I assure you that although we are working with a reduced agenda this year, our time is still quite tight, as we will only be working together for 3 hours per day. I'm counting on everybody's cooperation in making your interventions short and to the point, aiming to move business forward within the timetable and following the guidance provided in advance of the session by the Secretariat. I will also count on the assistance of my vice chairpersons from time to time for the smooth progress of the session. There are Netherlands, Azerbaijan, China, Djibouti, and Kuwait. Together with Jamaica, these countries comprise the bureau of the committee. A rapporteur for the session will have to be replaced, and we will take that decision together under item 3. It is now my great pleasure to invite Madam Audrey Uzele, Director General of UNESCO, to address us with a few words. Madame Uzele, the floor is yours.
Chère Madame la Ministre de la Culture, du Genre, du Divertissement et du Sport de la Jamaïque, chère Olivia Grangi, Madame la Présidente de la 15e session du Comité pour la sauvegarde du patrimoine immatériel, Mesdames et Messieurs les ministres, Excellences, chers amis. Nous nous retrouvons à la fin d'une année 2020 exceptionnelle à bien des égards. Une année qui a plongé l'ensemble de nos sociétés dans une crise profonde et qui a affecté durement la culture, le patrimoine, le spectacle vivant, tous les secteurs de la création autres que sur les écrans numériques. Cette crise nous a contraints à changer nos habitudes et nos manières d'être ensemble, et c'est ainsi que pour la première fois, notre comité se tient en ligne. Je voudrais commencer par remercier le gouvernement de la Jamaïque et vous-même, Madame la Ministre, pour votre capacité d'adaptation et d'organisation. Et je voudrais aussi remercier le secrétariat de la Convention qui a permis ces méthodes de travail nouvelles. Cela permet une continuité remarquable de nos travaux, même si nous regrettons tous, Madame la Ministre, de ne pas être à vos côtés en Jamaïque. Les sons de la musique que nous entendons nous le font regretter encore plus, mais je voudrais vous dire que grâce à votre hospitalité, grâce à votre sens de la convivialité, nous arrivons à aller au-delà de la distance physique, de nous sentir ensemble et de nous sentir bien. Je voudrais aussi saluer ici les nouveaux États qui ont rejoint la Convention, l'Angola et la Somalie. Pour ces deux pays, c'est une marque de plus vers le chemin de la paix et vers l'édification d'un socle normatif fondé sur la culture, l'éducation, la transmission, sur nos valeurs, dans des pays qui ont bien trop connu les conflits. Avec désormais 180 États partis, c'est l'universalité de l'engagement pour le patrimoine immatériel qui progresse. Excellences, Mesdames et Messieurs, en cette année particulière, l'ensemble du patrimoine immatériel a été mis à l'épreuve alors que la numérisation de nos modes de vie a gagné du terrain. Des festivals, des cérémonies séculaires ont été annulées, comme par exemple le festival de Gion à Kyoto, au Japon. Des traditions d'artisanat ont été menacées dans leur viabilité économique, comme par exemple au Botswana, où les potiers dont les savoir-faire sont inscrits sur la liste du patrimoine immatériel ne pouvaient plus vendre leurs créations sur les marchés. La transmission aussi des savoir-faire a été fragilisée, par exemple en Italie, à Crémone, où les fameux luthiers ont été privés de leurs ateliers et les apprentis n'ont pas pu apprendre de leurs maîtres. Vous le savez, dans cette situation exceptionnelle, depuis le début de cette année, l'UNESCO a été à vos côtés et s'est mobilisée. Elle s'est mobilisée, par exemple, en organisant certains grands événements en ligne, comme le concert mondial pour la Journée internationale du jazz, qui a réuni plus de 300 000 personnes, mais en ligne. Nous nous sommes mobilisés sur la substance, sur le fond, en lançant, par exemple, le mouvement Resiliart pour penser collectivement la sortie de la crise, avec aujourd'hui plus de 220 débats dans plus de 75 pays, qui ont permis de faire entendre la voix des artistes, des praticiens, des artisans, aux côtés des institutions. Leurs messages ont nourri notre publication « La culture en crise », qui dit la centralité du patrimoine dans nos sociétés et la nécessité de le soutenir pour construire un monde de demain où la diversité ne soit pas amoindrie. Car le patrimoine immatériel est une ressource précieuse pour répondre aux enjeux contemporains. Et c'est la philosophie, ce sont les valeurs même de notre Convention, celle qui fait de ces gestes, de ces festivals, de ces rituels, non pas les mémoires évanescences d'un passé révolu dont on serait nostalgique, mais bien un patrimoine vivant qui peut nous aider à répondre aux défis d'aujourd'hui et de demain. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Jamaica, which is welcoming the committee this year, knows this very well. Our work together in the recent years has focused in particular on reaffirming the social dimension of urban living heritage. It was this commitment that led to the inscription of the maroon heritage of Moortown and the reggae music of Jamaica on the Intangible Cultural Heritage list. Because the songs of Bob Marley and Dennis Brown in the music that Jamaica has gifted to the world, in this music we hear the message of intangible heritage, a message of diversity, a message of freedom, a message of emancipation. A message of diversity, because reggae embodies harmony, borrowing rhythms from the Caribbean, swing from North America, beats from the Song of Africa, Nyambingi Order, a religious movement spanning Congo, Kenya, and Uganda, which inspired some of the greatest artists, including Jimmy Cliff, among others. A message of freedom, a message of emancipation also, because reggae, along with jazz, played a very important role in bringing South Africans together to defeat apartheid. Intangible heritage is indeed a powerful way of healing the wounds in our societies. This is true for tears in the social fabric. It is also true concerning the fracture between humanity and nature. For example, by preserving traditional knowledge such as Suri Yajek, the observation of the sun by the Kalasha people of Pakistan, we preserve detailed knowledge of our environment, which could help us rebuild this broken relationship that we have with the living world. Intangible heritage is also a resource that can be used to rise above political disputes, acknowledging the deep ties between people, as in the case of the joint inscription by the two Koris of Shirum, for instance. I am delighted to see this spirit of dialogue reflected in the committee. This can be seen in its decision-making processes, which have been overhauled to make them more fairer, more inclusive, and more open. And I know how committed you all are to continuing these efforts to achieve even more openness and fairness. Making this unity reality is an essential prerequisite for facing the challenges of the future, which will be the focus of this very session. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, by looking ahead, we're considering heritage from the perspective of transmission and education. Because respecting heritage is not only about protecting it now, it is also about making it known to future generations. This means ensuring that young people can appropriate heritage, take pride in it, and renew it. In the words of Linton Kwesi Johnson, the renowned Jamaican dub poet, at the end of the day, life's about realizing one's human potential. I therefore thank you for ensuring that humanity's treasure live on, and I wish you very fruitful discussions in this committee. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Director General, for your encouraging words. I now invite you all to enjoy a reggae welcome prepared by Jamaica, featuring the Inner Circle Band, Marcia Griffiths of the I3s, Michael Rose of Black Uhuru, alongside the Inner Circle Band. Please enjoy.
Wonderful world, beautiful people, you and your girl, things could be pretty, but underneath this, there is a secret that nobody can reveal.
Hey, the world is going through rough times, and it's only reggae music can free your mind. With all the games people play, we need love more so today. Na 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 na. Talking about you and me, yeah, and the games people play now. Na 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 na. Talking about you and me, yeah, and the games people play now. Oh, the games people play now. Every night and every day now. Never meaning what they say, never say what they mean. First you while away your hours, eye up in your towers. Soon you're covered up in flowers, in the back of a black limousine. People walking up to you, singing glory, hallelujah. Then they try to suck it to you, in the name of the Lord. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Talking about you and me, yeah, and the games people play now. Everybody put your hands in the air. Na 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 na. Get the feeling. Talking about you and me, yeah, and the games people play now. Are you ready now? Whoa, get me. Whoa, come on. Whoa, come on. Whoa. What we need, solidarity. Ding 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 down a boy. It's solidarity. Human rights, solidarity. Brothers and sisters, unite. Solidarity. Love, love, love. Solidarity. Everybody wants the same thing down there. Everybody wants a happy end. They wanna see the game on Saturday. They wanna be somebody's friend. Everybody wanna work for a living. Yeah, they want their children warm. Everybody just wanna be forgiven. They wanna shelter from the storm. Look at me and hate your enemy. We walk on common ground. This is no time to fight each other. What we need, solidarity. 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 Nobody like to ask some money. Nobody like to play the clown. Nobody wanna wait in a long line. Nobody likes being pushed around. Everybody want their family protected. They wanna express themselves. Everybody wants to live forever, forever.
It's electric.
You can't see it.
It's electric.
You gotta feel it.
It's electric.
Ooh, it's shocking.
It's electric.
Dig that Mr. Kelly with the pop electric melody. She's a moving like electric.
Sure got to move it.
You gotta know it.
It's electric.
Woogie, woogie, woogie. That you can't hold it.
It's electric.
Woogie, woogie, woogie. But you know it's there. Here, there, and everywhere. I got to move. I'm going on a party ride. I've got to groove, groove, groove. And from the Ooh, it's shocking. Kicking and miss a color with the bubble left to rally. She's a moving like electric. She's so you don't want to lose it. You can't use it. But you know it's there. It's here, there, and everywhere. Hola, hola, hey. Hola, hola, hey. Hola, hola, hey. Hola, hola, hey. Dondela, dondelo. Dondela, dondelo. Dondela, dondelo. Hola, hola, hey.
I hope that you enjoyed that inspiring performance, reggae music at its very best. Let us now turn to the launch of the new visualization tool, which is an initiative of the Secretariat. Dive into living heritage and sustainable development.
Madame la Ministre, Présidente du Chairperson, Mesdames et Messieurs les délégués, les ambassadeurs, c'est un plaisir de se retrouver une fois de plus, même si c'est à la distance. Il y a 2 ans, sur l'île Maurice, nous avons présenté un nouvel outil très novateur qui s'appelle « Plonger dans le patrimoine vivant » ou « Dive into Living Heritage ». Une constellation immense. Il montre tout à la fois la diversité des pratiques culturelles que ce comité inscrit sur les listes de conventions de 2003 et leur interconnexion. Dans ce même outil, une autre visualisation met en valeur l'intrication de la culture de nos sociétés avec l'environnement, la mer, la montagne, les déserts ou encore les forêts. Une autre encore montre d'une manière très synthétique un élément essentiel de cette convention, les menaces qui pèsent sur le patrimoine vivant. Nous avons souhaité y ajouter une nouvelle dimension incontournable dans le monde d'aujourd'hui, le développement durable, les ODD. L'humanité fait face à des défis considérables pour assurer sa survie. D'une manière si cruelle, la crise de la Covid-19 nous le rappelle chaque jour, depuis près d'1 an déjà. Quel rapport y a-t-il entre la musique, la poésie, la danse ou le futur de l'humanité sur Terre? Comment peut-on expliquer, voire même démontrer l'articulation entre le patrimoine vivant et le développement durable? Ces questions sont cruciales pour la Convention de 2003, et même bien au-delà. Nous avons tenté d'y répondre par l'élaboration d'un nouvel univers virtuel, que je crois n'a pas fini de vous surprendre. Si vous me permettez, je vais demander maintenant à mon collègue, Hugues Sicard, de vous guider pour une brève plongée dans le patrimoine vivant et le développement durable.
Merci Ernesto. Alors, pour répondre à cette question complexe du lien entre le patrimoine vivant et le développement durable, nous sommes partis des 17 objectifs de développement durable établis dans le cadre de l'agenda 2030 que vous connaissez tous. Nous avons étudié les correspondances qu'il pouvait y avoir entre chacun de ces 17 objectifs et le patrimoine vivant, et puis pour chacun des 549 éléments inscrits sur les listes du patrimoine immatériel, nous avons évalué s'il existait un lien ou pas vis-à-vis de ces objectifs. Et c'est grâce à cette approche systématique que nous avons pu dessiner le panorama que vous avez maintenant sous les yeux. En parcourant chacun des objectifs de développement durable, du premier pas de pauvreté au 17e partenariat pour la réalisation des objectifs, en passant par la santé, l'éducation et tous les objectifs liés à l'environnement, vous pouvez visualiser un faisceau de liens vers des éléments qui sont situés au centre. Et vous avez pu constater la profusion des corrélations suivant les objectifs, en particulier autour de l'éducation, l'objectif 4, de l'égalité des genres, du travail, des villes ou encore de la vie terrestre. Le reggae a déjà imprégné toute cette session du comité. Alors, comment le reggae en particulier est-il lié au développement durable? Le reggae est né au sein de groupes marginalisés qui se battaient pour plus de justice, plus de liberté, exactement comme ce qu'on vient d'entendre. Le reggae, c'est donc la lutte contre les inégalités, c'est-à-dire l'objectif 10. C'est aussi la paix, la justice, l'objectif 16, l'égalité des genres, car les femmes ont toute leur place dans la pratique de cette musique. Donc, l'objectif 5, ou encore un appel très fort à s'unir et à construire une humanité durable tous ensemble, et c'est ça l'objectif 17. Alors, je tiens à préciser que ce n'est pas seulement en écoutant du reggae qu'on a fait ce travail, et pour cet élément, comme pour tous les autres, nous nous sommes référés aux informations fournies dans les dossiers de candidature. Et nous avons trouvé 63 éléments avec le reggae qui contribuent d'une façon ou d'une autre à la réduction des inégalités dans tous les domaines du patrimoine culturel immatériel et de toutes les régions du monde. Et parmi eux, il y a la poésie chantée al-Zajal. Dans les familles, au Liban, les hommes et les femmes se lancent dans des joutes verbales poétiques sur la beauté de leur pays, sur la tolérance et sur tout un tas d'autres sujets. Et vous avez peut-être remarqué qu'en plus des liens vers les objectifs de développement durable, il y a des liens vers une dizaine de concepts qui caractérisent cet élément. La famille, la résolution de conflits et bien sûr la poésie. Alors, pour la poésie, si on fait un focus sur ce concept, on voit qu'il est entouré de tout un tas de couleurs, et ces couleurs indiquent à quel point, par le truchement des éléments, ce concept qui est si emblématique de la culture est lié aux objectifs de développement durable. Et ici, pour la poésie, toute la partie bleue, bleu clair, c'est l'objectif 16, c'est la couleur de l'objectif 16, et en fait, en un mot, c'est la paix. Donc, au travers des éléments, on peut déduire une chaîne de relations entre la poésie et le développement durable. Donc voilà, ça c'est le panorama général que fournit cet outil, mais il nous a aussi semblé très important, pour chaque objectif de développement durable, de présenter un éventail de données spécifiques qui permettent de voir plus en détail la résonance qu'il peut y avoir entre le patrimoine vivant et un objectif en particulier. Si on prend par exemple pour la santé, vous pouvez ouvrir cet espace et retrouver une courte introduction et une liste de tous les éléments liés, plus ou moins fortement à cet objectif. Vous pouvez retrouver aussi toute une série d'études de cas qui sont liées à la santé, qui sont issues du matériel de renforcement des capacités. Et vous savez que depuis des années, on travaille sur une accumulation de matériel et on a cherché à regrouper ces informations et à les mettre aussi disponibles ici, au-delà des éléments. On a aussi intégré des références bibliographiques qui concernent cet objectif, et ces références sont issues d'une bibliographie qui est disponible sur notre site et qui répertorie les recherches scientifiques concernant la mise en œuvre de la Convention et à laquelle des contributions d'ailleurs peuvent être ajoutées. On a même dédié une visualisation à chacun de ces objectifs. On y retrouve toutes les données que je viens de mentionner, les études de cas matérialisées par les hexagones, les étoiles qui symbolisent les publications. Et il y a aussi 4 éléments qu'on a mis en exergue qui sont emblématiques pour nous du lien entre le patrimoine vivant et la santé. Et pour chacun, on a expliqué, par exemple pour le yoga, exactement quels étaient tous les éléments qui rejoignent le yoga, qui font que le yoga est en complète résonance avec cet objectif. Donc ces compilations de données, nous les avons faites pour que chacun puisse trouver dans ses interfaces les ressources lui permettant de se faire l'avocat de la sauvegarde du patrimoine vivant. Toutes ces interfaces, elles sont déjà disponibles pour vous. Et si vous ne savez pas par où commencer, vous pouvez vous laisser faire. Il y a un petit bouton sur la gauche, et quand vous cliquez sur Play, en fait, ça déclenche une navigation automatique dans l'ensemble de cette constellation, de cet univers. Et de lien en lien, vous allez, d'une manière aléatoire, pouvoir constater tous ces éléments. Merci Ernesto. Je te laisse conclure sur l'avenir qui sera réservé à cet outil.
Merci Hugues, et bien sûr merci à toute l'entité du patrimoine vivant pour ce travail vraiment extraordinaire de recherche, d'association, de ce que les États membres nous demandent de faire avec les instruments normatifs au-delà de ces réunions, de trouver un moyen de pouvoir se rapprocher aux communautés et à la société civile. Au-delà des joies et du réconfort si précieux que la culture nous apporte, elle constitue sans doute une clé de voûte du développement durable. C'est avec des initiatives comme celle-ci que, je crois, la culture gagnera du terrain, que grâce à la culture, ces objectifs de développement durable, nous pourrons les atteindre. Cet outil, vous allez le voir un peu partout, très prochainement dans le hall de l'UNESCO, avec une installation permanente dans des musées, dans des villes, mais aussi dans les réunions internationales et des forums où l'UNESCO et la culture n'ont pas assez de visibilité. J'invite tous les États intéressés à mettre à profit cet outil dans les écoles et dans les lieux publics et à nous contacter sur la manière de le faire. Je ne peux pas terminer mon intervention sans exprimer mes remerciements les plus sincères au Royaume des Pays-Bas qui, dès 2018, a su soutenir le projet et qui, malgré une situation particulièrement difficile cette année, a décidé de contribuer plus encore pour ce nouveau projet. Vraiment, merci, tout particulièrement à Madame Riette Deleuve pour cet appui précieux. Dear Chairperson, I give you the floor. Thank you.
Thank you. Many thanks, Assistant Director General for Culture, Mr. Ernesto Ontan, and Mr. Sicard for that wonderful presentation to mark the launch of Dive into Living Heritage and Sustainable Development. With that, I believe we're ready to begin. I now declare the 15th session of the Intergovernmental Committee for the Safeguarding of the Intangible Cultural Heritage open. As we make a transition to the next item, please enjoy a brief reggae chill moment. Thank you.
Get up, stand up,
Now you see the light. Stand up for your rights. Come on, y'all. Get up, stand up. Stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up, y'all. Don't give up the fight. Yeah. Get up, stand up. Stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight.
Well, most people think that great God will come from the sky and take away everything and make everybody feel high. But if you know what your life is worth, you would look for yours on earth. So now you see the light. I'm begging you to stand up for your rights. Oh, yo, say get up, stand up. I'm begging you, stand up for your rights. Come on, say get up, stand up. No, no, don't give up the fight. I'm begging you, get up, stand up. Come on, stand up for your rights. Yeah, get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight.
We're sick and tired of your ism, schism, games, dying and go to heaven in Jesus' name, Lord.
We know where we understand. My God is the living man.
You can fool some people sometimes, but you can't fool all the people all the time. Say, now you see the light.
What you gonna do?
Stand up for your rights. Oh yeah.
Get up, stand up. Stand up for your rights. You got to get up,
Stand up.
don't give up the fight. Fear is the enemy.
Get up. Stand up. Yeah. Stand up for your rights. Stand up. Get up. Stand up. Don't give up the fight. Never give up the fight. Never give up the fight. No, no, no. Never give up the fight.
Never give up the fight.
Never give up the fight.
Don't give it up.
Never give up the fight. Never give up the fight. Never give up the fight.
Never give up the fight. Never give up the fight.
Don't you ever,
Never give up the fight.
won't you ever, never give up the fight.
On to item 2, adoption of the agenda. Mr. Curtis, please present the provisional agenda of our meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson, dear committee members, dear observers. You will be able to find the provisional agenda in document 2. The previous session of the committee last year designated Jamaica as the host country for the session. However, once Jamaica expressed its inability to remain host or to host physically, the Bureau of the committee first considered convening an in-person session at UNESCO headquarters in December 2020. Unfortunately, the complexities related to the pandemic continued, as we all know, and as a result, the Bureau called for an electronic consultation so that all committee members could express their preference between a fully online meeting in December 2020 or a postponement of the session to 2021 until such a time that a presential meeting could be safely held. The electronic consultation took place from the 30th of October to the 5th of November 2020, and the results showed a strong and clear preference for an online meeting. Only 3 out of 24 members preferred to postpone for an in-person meeting until next year. Consequently, the Bureau decided that exceptionally the 15 COM would take place online from 14th to 19th of December 2020. The consultation also led the Bureau to approve a reduced provisional agenda and to organize the timetable of the committee in 3 3-hour daily sessions instead of our normal 6-hour daily sessions or 2 3-hour sessions per day. And these will span over 6 days from 1:30 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. Paris time. And this time frame was selected in order to take into account as much as possible the different time zones of committee members and of states parties to the convention. Therefore, we've proposed not to inscribe 5 items on the provisional agenda, as these items were either discussed extensively during the 8th session of the General Assembly some 3 months ago, or they can be postponed without statutory consequences and without disrupting the work of next year. The items which we removed from the original provisional agenda are the report of the Secretariat on its activities, the Intangible Cultural Heritage Fund, reports of state parties on the use of the international assistance, the follow-up on elements inscribed on the list of the convention, and the reflection on the listing mechanisms. Again, a number of these were discussed extensively only 3 months ago, and in that case, as far as reporting goes, there wouldn't be much updates. All documents were published online by the statutory deadline of the 16th of November, meaning 4 weeks before the opening of this session. And the timetable adopted by the Bureau can be found in document INF 2.1. So in accordance with the timetable approved by the Bureau, items will be examined in the sequence of their agenda numbers, with the exception of item 10, which comes both on the first day and on the last day. This will allow us to explain the process for the election of the evaluation body members, to identify 2 volunteers who can be physically present in Paris to act as tellers, and to allow representatives of the committee members to physically come and vote at UNESCO headquarters. This system will enable physical distancing measures to be applied and will still guarantee a vote by secret ballot as required in the rules. The results of the vote will be adopted by the committee on Saturday. Every day from 1 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. Paris time, the Bureau will meet virtually, starting tomorrow, in order to adjust the provisional timetable as may be needed. That meeting is open to observers. The same Zoom link that you use to access the meeting this meeting is needed to access the Bureau meetings. So if any observers wish to attend the Bureau meeting, which requires a meeting link, and if you do not already have a meeting link, you may write to ichmeetings@unesco.org to request a link, as long as you are already registered. What you are asked to adopt here under this item, dear committee members, is the agenda and not the timetable. For press or media representatives, resources can be found on a dedicated webpage of the 15Com event webpage. A press briefing will tomorrow via Zoom at 4:45 p.m. Paris time tomorrow. Tomorrow on the 15th of December, and another session is planned on Friday at the same time. For us, the Secretariat, this is in fact the first time that we are organizing a committee meeting online, and so not only is this a virtual meeting, but we are also connecting 2 podiums, one in Paris and another in Kingston, Jamaica. For items 8 on nominations, there will be a 3rd podium with the evaluation body representatives. The preparation for this meeting, therefore, required a significant number of tests and coordination actions, and we've done our best to provide a conducive environment. I would just like to warn that if we do, and we hope we don't, but if we do encounter technical problems, we do ask the participants' indulgence and patience in advance. Madam Chairperson, of course, I remain at the disposal of the committee to answer any questions related to the provisional agenda. Thank you, Madam Chairperson.
Thank you, Mr. Curtis. Dear members of the committee, it is clear that we have important issues to discuss during this online meeting, and we have to do so within an extremely tight schedule. I'm therefore counting on your cooperation to keep your interventions very brief. Before we proceed further, I would like to inform the committee about the way I intend to conduct our debates. I would like to invite committee members to limit themselves in their remarks to the minimum time required, and to try not to take the floor more than twice in a single item. I'm told that we have a timer which will be shown to indicate the length of each intervention if need be. Members who would like to introduce written amendments to the draft decisions in the documents can do so by completing the relevant form to be sent to the address included on the form and now showing on the screen. This form is available on the website of the convention on the 15.com event webpage. Committee members are encouraged to submit amendments as soon as possible, if there is any amendment. The submission of proposed amendments at least the day prior to the examination of the item concerned, with the names of the co-sponsors, would greatly facilitate the organization of debates, in particular in light of the online modality. Please do not submit amendments via the chat box during the meeting. During a general debate, after each item has been discussed by committee members, I will give the floor, if time allows, to observers. Please note that observers may be recognized during a general debate or after a decision has been taken, but may not intervene during discussions on draft decisions. Concerning the report of the 2020 evaluation body, namely items 8, 8A, 8B, 8C, and 8D, the current plan is to dedicate approximately 10 hours between tomorrow, that's Tuesday, 15 December, and Friday, 18 December. This means that the committee will have about 9 minutes per file on average. In order to facilitate the participation of the delegations concerned, the Secretariat drafted a tentative schedule with estimated time slots, which is included in the annex of the document named General Information LHE/20/15.com/INF.1. This document is also available under item 8 on the 15.com event webpage. In accordance with decision 14.com/18, the 2020 cycle nominations are foreseen to be examined by the committee in English alphabetical order, starting with the files of states whose names begin with the letter Q under each of the 4 sub-items 8A to 8D. Members, please note that schedule and order of nominations is subject to change on the length of debates of the committee. To ensure efficient time management and facilitate the organization of debates on nomination files, I wish to apply the same working method as in previous years, meaning that all decisions concerning nominations for inscription on the list, requests for international assistance, and proposals for inclusion in the Register of Good Safeguarding Practices would be adopted without debate unless a committee member wishes to raise a particular point. To end this, committee members who wish to debate or propose amendments to a draft decision are invited to inform the Secretariat before tomorrow, 15 December, 10 a.m. Paris time. This will allow the Bureau to adopt the agenda according to the list of issues to be debated. As a consequence, we will take it for granted that draft decisions on nominations for which no request for amendment or debate has been put forward can be proposed for adoption as a whole instead of discussing them paragraph by paragraph. This will save time, allowing us to spend more time debating other nominations that deserve our attention. Of course, members of the committee will always be entitled to ask for the floor. We are merely trying to better organize the adoption of draft decisions in advance. During the debates on each nomination, proposal, or request, submitting states may only take the floor to provide information in reply to questions raised by committee members. Rule 22.4 of the Rules of the Procedures of the committee. I understand that for this item, consultations have taken place amongst committee members to respect the tacit agreement, which has become known as the Gentleman's Agreement. This is important for the credibility of our work and the convention. I will come back to it more in detail when we start item 8. After a decision has been made by the committee, I may invite the submitting states to give a speech, show a short video, or a combination of both. Regardless of the format of the intervention, submitting states will be allotted a total of 2 minutes, including in the case of multinational nominations. Due to the reduced duration of the session and the necessity to allocate a fair amount of time to all files, the cooperation of submitting states in respecting this time requirement would be very much appreciated. Finally, I know that several delegations which wish to take the floor to deliver general statements. I will provide an opportunity to do so once we will have finished item 5 on the adoption of the summary records of the 14th session of the committee. I hope you can all agree on this methodology. Are there any questions? I see none. I now open the floor. Does anybody wish to take the floor? I see none. So let us move now to the decision. Please refer to document 2 and its draft decision in paragraph 2. Can we now see it on the screen? May I ask the committee to adopt draft decision 15.com2 as a whole, as shown on the screen? I see no objection. I therefore declare decision 15.com2 adopted. We can now move on to item 3, replacement of the rapporteur. Mr. Secretary, please present this item and explain to us why we have to replace our rapporteur.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. Many of you will recall that by its decision 14-21, the committee elected Mr. Askar Abdrakhmanov from Kazakhstan to be the rapporteur of the committee. However, at the second meeting of the Bureau in September 2020, Mr. Abdrakhmanov informed other members that due to commitments at home, he would not be able to complete his term of office as rapporteur. Rule 16.2 of the Rules of Procedures of the Committee states that, and I quote, if the rapporteur is for any reason unable to complete his or her term of office, he or she shall be replaced by a vice chairperson after consultation within the committee for the remainder of the term of office. In other words, the committee is asked today to elect a vice chairperson who will serve as the rapporteur during the 15th session of the committee, meaning this session. Thank you, Madam Chairperson.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Following the explanation given, we need to invite one of the Bureau members to volunteer and replace Mr. Abdrakhmanov to act as a rapporteur of the 15th session of the committee. I would like to take this opportunity to appreciate the commitment shown by Mr. Abdrakhmanov for contributing to the good governance of the convention. Given the online modality of our meeting, I've asked the Secretariat to undertake a consultation. Am I right in understanding that the Netherlands is ready to step in?
Yes, Madam Chair, you are right in assuming that the Netherlands can step in as a rapporteur.
Thank you, Netherlands, for offering to take up this task. This is much appreciated. For the sake of time, I will ask members of the committee to only take the floor if they are against this proposition of the Bureau. I see no request to take the floor. Let us move now to the decision. Please refer to document 3 and its draft decision in paragraph 4. Can we see it on the screen? It's up, okay. May I ask the committee to adopt draft decision 15.3 as a whole, as shown on the screen? I see no objection. I therefore declare decision 15.com adopted. The next item is item 4, observers. Mr. Secretary, please present this item to us.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. I will try to be brief. Rules 8.1 to 8.3 of the committee's rules of procedure provide the criteria for the attendance of observers to committee sessions. According to those rules and in conformity with decisions 12-3 and 14-3, the two following organizations may participate in the present session of the committee as observers: the African Trade Center, ATC, and the Arab League Educational, Cultural and Scientific Organization, also known as ALEXO. The committee is also asked to authorize the participation of Ms. Eva Maria Seng as an observer in the 16th session of the committee next year, following a written request that the Secretariat received in April 2020. Allow me to add that the working document under this item makes no mention of the participation of accredited NGOs because they are automatically admitted as observers at sessions of the committee in conformity with Rule 6 of the Rules of Procedure. In summary, the committee is asked to adopt Decision 15-4 relating to the observers authorized to attend this session of the committee, as well as those authorized to attend future sessions upon written request received to date by the Secretariat. Thank you, Madam Chairperson.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Let me remind you all that observers may take the floor during a general debate or after a decision has been taken, but they may not intervene during discussions on draft decisions. I now open the floor. Does anybody wish to intervene? I see none. Let us move now to the decision. Please refer to document 4 and its draft decision in paragraph 5. And it is on the screen at this time. May I ask the committee to adopt draft decision 15.com4 as shown on the screens? I see no objection. I therefore declare decision 15.com4 adopted as it appears on the screen. We will now move on to item 5, summary records of the 14th session of the committee. Mr. Secretary, the floor is yours to present this item.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. Merci, Madame la Présidente. Je vais passer un peu en français pour ce point. Ce document présente le compte-rendu de la 14e session du comité, conformément à l'article 45 du règlement intérieur du comité. Il permet ainsi de garder une trace des débats et discussions que nous avons eus à Bogota l'an dernier, qui pourraient être utiles au cours de cette session. Vous pouvez également retrouver les enregistrements de tous ces débats sur la page web de la 14e session du comité. Thank you, Madam Chairperson.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. I will now open the floor. Does anybody wish to take the floor? I see none. Let us move now to the decision. Please refer to document 5. I understand China wants to take the floor. Please go ahead. I understand Aber Jizan wants to take the floor. Please go ahead. Please go ahead. I'd like to ask countries, if you are going to be making general statements, if we could do so after the adoption of the decisions.
Madame la Présidente, vous m'entendez?
I can hear you.
D'accord, merci Madame la Présidente. Prenant la parole pour la première fois, l'Azerbaïdjan souhaite féliciter le secrétariat de la Convention de 2003 pour avoir aidé le comité intergouvernemental à tenir sa 15e session entièrement en ligne. L'Azerbaïdjan se réjouit de participer à cette importante réunion et nous sommes heureux de constater que des efforts ont été faits pour organiser cette session sans heurts. L'Azerbaïdjan apprécie grandement les efforts du secrétariat pour faire avancer la mise en œuvre de la Convention ainsi que les décisions de l'Assemblée générale et du comité malgré la pandémie de COVID-19. Nous nous félicitons des mesures prises par le secrétariat pour soutenir le fonctionnement des mécanismes de base du comité. Même si l'ordre du jour de notre session actuelle en ligne est limité, nous pensons qu'il sera important que le comité poursuive ses travaux sur un certain nombre d'aspects importants, tels que le rôle des organisations non gouvernementales, les mécanismes d'inscription sur la liste, ainsi que les patrimoines culturels immatériels et les situations d'urgence.
Dear member, can you please make your general statement after the decision has been adopted? Please. Thank you.
OK, merci.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Let us now move to the decision. Please refer to document 5 and its draft decision in paragraph 7. And it's on the screen. May I ask the committee to adopt draft decision 15.com5 as shown on the screens. I see no objections. I therefore declare decision 15.com5 adopted as seen on the screens. Thank you, dear members of the committee. I understand that the Secretariat wishes to update us on the activities that they undertook since the 18th session of the General Assembly in September this year. Mr. Curtis, the floor is back to you.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. Since there is no report of the Secretariat, I will be extremely brief just to give an update on the work we've done since our last report in September to the General Assembly. In addition to a number of statutory actions that were taken to support various international cooperation mechanisms and quite an amount of time dedicated to preparing this present session, we were able to also organize the 8th annual coordination meeting of the Category 2 centers in the field of intangible cultural heritage, which took place online on the 30th of November. We held a series of intersectoral online expert meetings on educated-related indicators in the overall results framework for the convention and their relationship with SDG 4. And there will be a public online restitution meeting in January 2021 to share the results of these meetings. And we've also been working a lot, among other things, but just to flag it, on the development of a massive open online course on living heritage and sustainable development, which we expect to launch next year. I, as always, stand ready to answer questions if any committee members so wish. Thank you, Madam Chairperson.
Thank you, Mr. Curtis, for giving us the update on the Secretariat's recent activities. We all appreciate the Secretariat's efforts to keep the convention going in this difficult time. As I announced earlier today, I would like to provide opportunities to those states, whether members of the committee or not, as well as other observers wishing to deliver general statements. At this time, Azerbaijan, I will invite you to speak.
Merci. Merci, Madame la Présidente. Donc, je reprends. Même si l'ordre du jour de notre session actuelle en ligne est limité, nous pensons qu'il sera important que le comité poursuive ses travaux sur un certain nombre d'aspects importants, tels que le rôle des organisations non gouvernementales, les mécanismes d'inscription sur les listes, ainsi que le patrimoine culturel immatériel et les situations d'urgence, y compris le patrimoine culturel immatériel dans les situations de conflits armés qui sont davantage au centre de l'attention de la communauté internationale. Le comité s'approchera bientôt au moment où il discutera pour la première fois des résultats de l'exercice de rapports périodiques dans la région de l'Amérique latine et des Caraïbes, et l'Azerbaïdjan suivra de près ce travail. Notre délégation réitère l'importance de maintenir la cohérence des décisions passées et actuelles du comité, et le défi devient encore plus grand à mesure que le comité poursuit ses travaux et que la portée de ces discussions continue de s'élargir. Enfin, notre délégation voudrait exprimer sa préoccupation concernant la situation des dossiers et des priorités appliquées au prochain cycle d'examen des candidatures, et nous pensons qu'un débat ad hoc pourrait éventuellement être organisé pour réfléchir à la situation et proposer des moyens d'avancer au comité lors de sa prochaine session. Je vous remercie de votre attention.
Thank you so much. I understand that Brazil wishes to take the floor. I will now invite Brazil to take the floor.
Gracias, señora presidenta. Excelentísima señora ministra Olivia Grange, excelentísima señora Audrey Azoulay, excelentísimos señores Ernesto Tone y Tim Curtis. Nos enorgullece enormemente volver a integrar el Comité Intergubernamental para la Salvaguardia del Patrimonio Cultural e Inmaterial. Quisiera felicitar y saludar a los nuevos miembros y agradecer a todos por el apoyo recibido. Quisiera también felicitar una vez más a Colombia por el magnífico trabajo en la última sesión de este comité. La reunión de Bogotá, la primera en Latinoamérica, quedará para todos nosotros como una referencia en la historia de esta convención. Celebramos este año 17 años de nuestra convención, la que, pese a su juventud relativa, es de una actualidad y relevancia crecientes. La relación de Brasil con esta convención empieza con los primeros debates y negociaciones que culminaron con su adopción. Trabajaremos juntos en el comité para ampliar e intensificar su implementación de modo a proteger y valorizar el invaluable patrimonio inmaterial de nuestros pueblos. Las razones de nuestro compromiso tienen raíces en nuestra propia formación histórica. La gran diversidad y riqueza de la cultura inmaterial brasileña no está estancada en el tiempo. El patrimonio es vivo y es también lo que confiere unidad e identidad a una sociedad en la cual conviven diferentes orígenes étnicos. Somos una nación que se compromete y se compone de centenas de grupos autóctones distintos, una patria enriquecida por las costumbres y religiosidades africanas, una herencia que está muy marcada en nuestra habla, nuestra comida, nuestras danzas, nuestras costumbres, y para la que contribuyó decisivamente el enorme influjo de inmigrantes que acogimos, que lograron en Brasil mezclarse y conformar lo que somos, una patria multilateral, un pueblo múltiple, pero que posee una cultura nacional distinta y única, cuyas manifestaciones son reconocidas en todo el mundo. Lo inmaterial nos permite, como brasileños, desarrollar un sentimiento de unidad y pertenencia. Y es ese patrimonio que necesita nuestra protección y apoyo. Brasil está comprometido con esta misión desde hace décadas. A través de su Instituto Nacional del Patrimonio, IFAN, este año celebramos los 20 años de nuestro Programa Nacional para la Salvaguardia del Patrimonio y Diversidad Inmaterial. Este marco precede, por lo tanto, la propia Convención de 2003. Gracias a la actuación del IFAN, además, seguimos expandiendo nuestra colaboración técnica con nuestros vecinos latinoamericanos y con diferentes instituciones, sobre todo el CRESPIAL, Centro Regional para el Patrimonio Cultural Inmaterial de América Latina. Señora Presidenta, no son tiempos fáciles para la cultura. La primera víctima de la pandemia que vivimos. Millones de artistas y artesanos y agentes culturales han perdido su trabajo a causa de la pandemia. Es el trabajo de nuestro comité apoyarlos, fomentando la resiliencia de las manifestaciones culturales y de las comunidades y prácticas que son repositorio del patrimonio inmaterial. Más que nunca se hace necesario el apoyo de las instituciones a las comunidades y a las tradiciones culturales. La Convención de 2003 tiene un vínculo directo con las comunidades y hay que estrecharlo, volverlo en un nuevo punto de partida, un renacimiento. Por eso aquí estamos para que podamos trabajar juntos. Muchas gracias.
Thank you, Brazil. We have a few requests for the floor. Therefore, I will ask the Secretariat to read out the names of those who wish to make presentations. Tim?
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. So the speakers list, starting with committee members, we have China, Panama, Czechia, Japan, Sri Lanka, Poland, Morocco, and then as observer states, Colombia, Syria, and Palestine. Thank you, Madam Chairperson.
Thank you, Tim. I will now ask China to take the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Since it is the first time for China to take the floor, my delegation would like to congratulate on your chairmanship. We would also like to express our sincere gratitude to Jamaica for its hospitality as the host for this session, to all the committee members and the Secretariat for all your great efforts to make the 15th session of the committee online possible. As we can recall, we had precious memories at last session in Colombia, guided by the principles and objectives of the 2003 Convention. The committee had achieved fruitful results, such as the reform on the periodic reporting system, the upstream dialogue process, the reflections on the listing mechanism, and etc. Since early this year, the COVID-19 pandemic has changed our way of life profoundly. People's life and health are put under great threat. And so are the diversity and transmission of the intangible cultural heritage of humanities. We have to meet online for this session, and the agenda was reduced accordingly. Even so, Madam Chair, we believe that under your leadership, we, the committee members, will continue to make new contributions to the promotion and implementation of the convention. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, China. I will now ask Panama to take the floor.
Señora Presidenta, en nombre de la Delegación de la República de Panamá, deseamos expresarle nuestros mejores deseos en el ejercicio de los trabajos de nuestro comité. Reciba usted igualmente el saludo de Su Excelencia, el señor Ministro de Cultura, don Carlos Aguilar Navarro, quien también se complace de ver a una representante de nuestra región conduciendo tan importantes deliberaciones. Este saludo lo hacemos extensivo a la directora general, señora Audrey Aslay, al subdirector general Ernesto Otone y al señor Tim Curtis, secretario de nuestra convención. Señora Presidenta, para mi país, Panamá, con la creación del Ministerio de Cultura en el año 2019 y la Ley General de Cultura en noviembre de 2020, hemos colocado el enfoque principal de la gestión en el ejercicio de los derechos culturales, que son parte de los derechos humanos universales. Al fortalecer y profundizar en el reconocimiento de la diversidad cultural con miras al desarrollo sostenible de los pueblos y las sociedades, durante los últimos años hemos avanzado en la implementación de nuestra convención, dando un enfoque especial a la planificación desde la protección y salvaguardia del patrimonio cultural inmaterial de manera participativa e incluyente. Para el grupo de países de América Latina y el Caribe ante las Naciones Unidas, esta es una tarea vital e impostergable. La importancia de la protección y salvaguardia del patrimonio cultural inmaterial es crucial para la región ante la necesidad de gestionar las nuevas realidades provocadas por el impacto mundial de la pandemia de la COVID-19 en las formas de vivir y ejercer la cultura. Panamá renueva su compromiso como signataria de la Convención de 2003 para la salvaguardia de nuestro patrimonio cultural e inmaterial, trabajando en equipo con todos ustedes. Gracias, señora presidenta.
Thank you so much. I now give the floor to Japan.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Can you hear me? Oh. Oh. Thank you, Madam Chair. Can you hear me? Madam Chair, Madam Director General, Mr. DG for Culture, committee members and observers, my colleagues. Japan commends Madam Chair and the Secretariat for making it possible for the Intergovernmental Committee of the 2003 Convention to take place successfully online in this difficult period affected by the coronavirus, especially taking into account the time constraints of the committee and also the time differences among different regions. I understand that Jamaica is still early in the morning, and thank you very much for organizing this meeting. We thank the evaluation body for evaluating and examining the submitted files professionally in spite of the many restrictions on the review process, which had to be conducted mostly online. We also appreciate the formal introduction of the upstream dialogue process for the evaluation of files, which resulted in many cases being turned into favorable recommendations. Japan will continue to support and to be actively involved in the global reflection on the listing mechanism of the convention. This process is expected to take place next year and to discuss important issues such as the review of the evaluation criteria, the upper limit on the number of cases to be evaluated, the use of external information, and the transfer and removal of cases from the list. Finally, let me emphasize once again that intangible cultural heritage is so much dear to the hearts of our people, for the Japanese people. And in that context, we're very much looking forward to having very fruitful discussions in this committee. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Thank you, Japan. We were hearing you loud and clear. Thank you so much. I will now ask Czechia to take the floor.
Madame la Présidente, bonjour à tous. Nous sommes très heureux de faire de nouveau partie du comité pour la sauvegarde du PCI. Nous sommes ravis et voudrions remercier pour le soutien des États parties lors de l'élection en septembre dernier et espérons travailler bien en coopérant avec tous nos collègues pour notre convention et sa mise en œuvre. Nous aurions bien aimé retrouver notre assemblée en Jamaïque, mais nous sommes très heureux d'y assister, au moins virtuellement, sous la présidence de Madame la ministre Olivia Grange. Nous nous engageons à suivre vos instructions, Madame, et les recommandations du secrétariat pour le bon déroulement de nos sessions de travail. Et nous sommes sûrs que nos débats seront fructueux et que tout se passera bien comme sur un air de reggae. Merci, Madame la Présidente. Bonne session à tous.
Thank you. Thank you. Sri Lanka, please take the floor. You can go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Sri Lanka wishes to thank the Secretariat for the efforts taken to organize this online ICH Intergovernmental Committee session, despite all the challenges we all had to face due to the pandemic. Living heritage around the world has been affected to a great extent by COVID-19 during the past year. Living heritage is built on human relations and interactions, and thus we have to devise mechanisms to preserve living heritage even where human interactions are minimal. There is obviously a very intricate relationship between living heritage and the social and psychological well-being of any community. If we are to build peace in the minds of men and women, which is the ultimate objective of UNESCO, we must mend and develop the social fabric while experiencing the threat of COVID-19 and also by countering the post-crisis recovery period, which will obviously and hopefully lead to a more inclusive and peaceful society. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sri Lanka. Poland, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam. Do you hear me?
Yes, we're hearing you loud and clear.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, Madam Chairperson, once again. Poland wishes to congratulate you, Madam Chairperson, for your warm and full of reggae music opening. We also commend the Secretariat for their dedicated work for organizing this online session during this difficult time of COVID-19 pandemic. We share the opinion that in today's world, it is crucial to take all the necessary measures to prevent cultural heritage from threats to the transmission and viability of tangible cultural heritage, which are the core element of people's cultural identity and well-being of communities, groups, and individuals. The time for ICH is the time that ICH is facing now as a threat that was not defined before, is the one that is not defined before, and where there is a need and tools to safeguard and to protect both the bearers and the elements itself. We are satisfied that during the last GA session, the operational principles and modalities for safeguarding intangible cultural heritage in emergencies were effectively established. We are especially appreciated the new solutions in promoting the convention provisions, like the Dive into Intangible Cultural Heritage initiative and the initiative regarding the recent events, life heritage and the COVID-19 pandemic. Moreover, we are satisfied to acknowledge that the increasing numbers of states are implementing the convention. At the same time, Poland wishes to congratulate all the new committee members, and we would like to wish us all a constructive meeting. Thank you, Madam.
Thank you, Poland. I now give the floor to Morocco.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Madam Director General, Excellencies, dear friends. I hope that you are hearing me well. I would like, first of all, on behalf of, thank you, Madam. On behalf of Morocco, I would like to congratulate Jamaica and especially you, Madam Chair, for your chairmanship and for the way you are conducting our works. And I wish you all the very best. I would like also to extend my warmest thanks to the Secretariat for the great job they've been doing to allow us to meet today. And my warmest thanks also to Madam Director General for the great job she's been doing for months now to allow us to meet and to work quite normally given to the pandemic. Madame la Présidente, Mesdames, Messieurs, nous tenons tout d'abord à remercier le secrétariat d'avoir préparé et organisé cette 15e session du comité pour la sauvegarde du patrimoine culturel immatériel. Dans ces conditions difficiles, marquées par la pandémie du Covid, nous aurions évidemment préféré une réunion en présentiel, mais nous comprenons tout à fait ce choix logique au regard des circonstances. Nous nous réjouissons à cet égard de constater que l'UNESCO a su répondre de manière forte aux défis dressés par cette pandémie. En effet, comme l'a dit Madame la Directrice Générale, beaucoup d'événements liés au patrimoine culturel et immatériel ont dû être annulés ou reportés, mais notre organisation s'est efforcée d'être présente là où il le faut en vue d'accompagner les communautés locales de par le monde pour que soient sauvegardées et entretenues les différentes expressions de ce patrimoine. Le Maroc, pays riche de ses traditions sociales, de ses créations, de son artisanat traditionnel et de ses expressions orales héritées de son passé millénaire, consacre beaucoup d'énergie et de moyens pour protéger et sauvegarder ce patrimoine très diversifié. Il s'engage totalement dans le respect des valeurs de la Convention de 2003 et la mise en œuvre de ses objectifs visant la sauvegarde du patrimoine culturel immatériel. Cette session du comité revêt à nos yeux un caractère extrêmement important car elle nous permettra d'examiner nombre de points essentiels tels que le rapport de l'organe d'évaluation pour 2020, l'examen d'un nombre important de candidatures pour inscription sur les listes du patrimoine culturel immatériel, les demandes d'assistance internationale, l'établissement de l'organe d'évaluation pour le cycle 2021. Nous pensons que la réflexion sur les questions relatives à la gestion et aux procédures d'inscription sur les listes de la Convention de 2003, les dispositions des directives opérationnelles doivent se poursuivre en vue d'arriver à une solution optimale et un meilleur équilibre géographique à ce sujet. Nous donnerons le moment venu, évidemment, notre point de vue sur ces questions importantes. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I will now ask Colombia to take the floor.
Un saludo muy especial desde Colombia. Agradecemos a Jamaica que haya hecho posible el comité. Un saludo especial a la ministra Olivia Grange y gracias por el reggae que ha comenzado las sesiones de este comité. Queremos resaltar especialmente, Presidenta, la adopción del marco global de resultados para la Convención de 2003, que hoy es una carta de navegación clara para todos los estados parte. Colombia participó en el primer ciclo de preparación de informes periódicos con base a los indicadores de dicho marco y somos testigos del decisivo aporte de este instrumento para mejorar la eficacia de la planeación para una salvaguardia efectiva y para contribuir a visibilizar todo el aporte del patrimonio inmaterial a la Agenda 2030. No podemos dejar de reiterar nuestros más sinceros agradecimientos a la entidad de patrimonio vivo de la UNESCO y al CRESPIAL y a la red de facilitadores por su habilidad para adaptar el proceso de capacitación en el mecanismo de informe periódico de la Convención dirigido a los países de América Latina y el Caribe. Por otro lado, Presidenta, queremos resaltar la importancia que se le ha dado a redoblar los esfuerzos para que la educación de calidad, como un derecho humano, incluya la salvaguardia del patrimonio vivo como vehículo, pero también como una meta a nivel global. Instamos a este comité a promover el apoyo de todos los estados parte para contribuir a este loable fin. Y por eso, Presidenta, damos gracias a la República de Corea por su iniciativa y ayuda para iniciar el proceso de reflexión para construir herramientas más pertinentes para promover la salvaguardia del patrimonio cultural inmaterial a través de la educación. Finalmente, Presidenta, le deseamos muchos éxitos en este comité y agradecemos igual todas las muestras de reconocimiento al comité que se realizó en Bogotá en diciembre pasado. Muchas gracias, Presidenta.
Thank you. Thank you, Colombia. I will now ask Syria to take the floor.
Merci, Madame la Présidente. Au nom de mon pays, la République arabe syrienne, l'État partie à la Convention de 2003 depuis 2005, je félicite Son Excellence Madame Olivia Grange, vous-même, Madame la Ministre de la Culture de la Jamaïque, pour votre présidence du comité, ainsi que les membres du bureau. Je salue spécialement les performances du secrétariat de notre Convention 2003 et son secrétaire, ainsi que les efforts fournis par Monsieur le Directeur général adjoint de la Culture, et je salue spécifiquement l'allocution de Madame la Directrice générale pour l'ouverture de nos travaux. La tenue méticuleuse de nos travaux de cette 15e session en mode virtuel représente un effort considérable qui est jalonné par l'engagement des membres du comité qui ont assuré, et j'en suis certaine, la bonne gouvernance de nos travaux depuis ce matin. La République arabe syrienne est consciente de l'impact grandissant des défis auxquels fait face notre humanité. C'est un pays millénaire qui fait face depuis plus de 9 ans à une crise d'urgence peu égalée depuis l'avènement du XXIe siècle. La Syrie subit des sanctions illégales unilatérales et des répercussions très importantes de la pandémie de Covid-19. Malgré cela, le peuple syrien et l'État mettent tout en œuvre avec détermination, courage et résilience pour sauvegarder le patrimoine culturel et matériel de la Syrie. En renforçant la dimension universelle et le dynamisme de son patrimoine vivant à travers des liens trans- et intergénérationnels, durables, authentiques, pour une identité culturelle syrienne, arabe, diverse et unie à la fois. Madame la Présidente, je souhaite le succès à nos travaux. Excellences les membres du comité, le grand public, j'appelle notre honorable comité à faire preuve de solidarité fraternelle à la hauteur du message universel que nous apportait l'universalité du reggae. Merci.
Thank you, Syria. I will now invite Côte d'Ivoire to take the floor. Côte d'Ivoire.
Merci, Madame la Présidente. Permettez-moi tout d'abord de féliciter la Jamaïque.
C'est bon. La Côte d'Ivoire parle.
Féliciter la Jamaïque pour cette belle ouverture que vous nous avez proposée. Je félicite également l'UNESCO pour avoir organisé cette importante conférence malgré des circonstances très difficiles. Madame la Présidente, je voulais simplement tout dire que la Côte d'Ivoire n'a pas demandé la parole. J'étais en train d'essayer les différents outils et cette occasion m'est donnée de vous féliciter, de vous remercier. Merci, Madame la Présidente.
Thank you, Côte d'Ivoire. I will now invite Palestine to take the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, before thanking you and wishing you good luck for your session, I would like to express our thanks to our previous president also in Colombia. It was a fantastic session. Unfortunately, we were looking forward to come to Jamaica, but the situation didn't allow. In any case, let me welcome the new members and wish them as well good luck. There is only one technical issue, and it is addressed to the Secretariat, Madam Chair, with your permission. Could we have the name of the rapporteur? Because in the decision it was mentioned only the country, while the rapporteur is elected on his personal capacity. I think it's Madame Eunice, but it would be good just to make it more clear. Regarding the reports, I thank the Secretariat for the summary record, and unfortunately we were not able to listen to their report. But during this period, I can witness that they were doing a great job. As we say in French, ils n'ont pas chômé. They were really hardworking during the confinement period. Well, I'm really happy that you mentioned, Madam Chair, in the beginning, the gentleman agreement that we followed since 2017, and it was respected till the last session, and I hope it will be respected under your chairmanship. And finally, just before ending, I would like to have a small clarification regarding the hours of our meeting, because we were supposed to start earlier and then to have a small break and then to resume after that. So for today, I understand it's exceptional, but what would be the timetable for the next days? Again, thank you. All the good luck and fruitful session for you and all members of the committee. Thank you, Madam Chair, again.
Thank you, Palestine. I will now ask the Secretariat to answer the questions concerning our rapporteur that you posed.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. I understand that the Honourable Delegate of Palestine asked whether the replacement rapporteur would be nominal, as the rapporteur is nominal. However, according to the Rule 16.2, if the rapporteur ceases to represent a state member of the committee, or if he or she is unable for any reason to complete the term of office, he or she shall be replaced by a vice chairperson after consultation. So just as when the chairperson of the committee is replaced by a bureau member, not in a nominal way, but as a bureau member, the same applies to the rapporteur. If the rapporteur is replaced, it then becomes a bureau member in their quality as vice chair without being nominal. Also, Madam Chair, I understand there was a question around the time schedule, which is online and which will be updated every day after the meeting of the Bureau, so will be accessible during the meeting. Thank you, Madam Chairperson.
Thank you, Tim. I will now invite Slovakia to take the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. In the name of Slovakia, I would like to congratulate you to the presidency of the session and the effective leadership. We would also like to thank you for this difficult but very important and well-prepared organization of the IGC meeting and great opening. This year, in which the COVID-19 pandemic brings many changes in lives of people all over the world, it is crucial to help each other in all possible ways. Sharing good practices in the area of safeguarding the ICH looks much more important than before. Greater understanding grounded in research and documentation of the threats to the transmission and practice of intangible cultural heritage over the longer term will be important in the future. Slovakia welcomes the research-related activities, for example, COVID-19 questionnaire action initiated by the Secretariat. At national level, we are now launching the second wave of inquiry because we think it is necessary to strengthen cooperation with traditional partners and to establish also new forms of cooperation with actors beyond the field of culture, such as the humanitarian and security sectors. With regard to the monitoring of the ICH safeguarding practices in general, we are looking forward to the new reporting system based on regions aligned with the overall results framework and facilitated by regional workshops, capacity building, and peer learning. Slovakia strongly supports the idea of the reflection on the listing mechanisms. However, we find the listing mechanisms to be just one part of the Convention's agenda. In implementing the whole complex of Convention's goals, the important aspect is the exchange of experiences among countries and on methods for safeguarding intangible cultural heritage, and also on practices with reporting. We will be thankful for all experiences from state parties from the first cycle of reporting. The Secretariat's activities are a cornerstone for the implementation of the Convention on national as well as international levels, and thus it was important that the Secretariat had the resources necessary to continue and develop its work. This is the reason why also Slovakia contributed financially this year more than was mandatory. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Slovakia. I will now invite, I see where Jamaica is asking to take the floor. Go ahead, Jamaica.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It is a wonderful pleasure and our great
Jamaica, we've lost the sound. Could you please check if you're on mute?
I am not on mute.
We have you now back. We have you now back. I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you very much, Madam Chair. Thank you for giving me the floor. And it is our absolute pleasure and great delight to see you seated in the chair as the lead on the important session of this committee. We know of your great commitment to the work of UNESCO, and we know how seriously you take the charge that has been given to you, and we have every confidence that you will lead us successfully through our work. Jamaica is pleased to have assumed the leadership directly after our sister country, Colombia. It's a most fortuitous set of circumstances that has allowed us to move hands across the region from Colombia to Jamaica. I'd like to thank the Director General and also the staff of the Secretariat for the yeoman's efforts that have been made to continue the hosting of this meeting with a view to ensuring the continuity of the business of the committee. We recognize that this was not without challenge, and we greatly appreciated the efforts that have been expanded and expended throughout to ensure that we are here today at the start of this engagement. Let me also thank the committee members who have displayed an enormous amount of flexibility, certainly in the way they have responded to the arrangements that have been made. And I'm sure they join me in extending our best wishes for the success of the 15th.com. This session will continue the important work to consider files which were submitted by member states. And we recognize that there will be a limit to the agenda items which can be considered. Inscriptions, we recognize, are important for the continued integrity of the work of UNESCO through this committee to promote the safeguarding of the intangible cultural heritage. The Venerable Nelson Mandela was recognized as saying, I quote, "Our rich and varied cultural heritage has a profound power to help build our new nation," speaking of his own country. It is our belief that this principle is applicable to all countries, all states parties, and that its protection is therefore important to all of us. And with these few words, Madam Chair, let me again reiterate my best wishes for the success and to all the members of this committee and all states parties, observers and NGOs who are with us. I thank you.
Thank you, Jamaica. I will now invite Saudi Arabia to take the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson, Madam Director General, Mr. Curtis, dear colleagues. We'd like to voice our appreciation for Jamaica in hosting the 15th session of the committee in such dire circumstances. We'd also like to thank the evaluation body for pulling this off by evaluating all these files despite the COVID-19 situation. Intangible cultural heritage in Saudi carries a very special place in the hearts of our people as it represents our identity and at the same time, a bridge to find commonalities with other cultures. As a newly elected member to this esteemed committee, we'd like to express our commitment to withhold and protect the values and principles of this convention and support the Secretariat and all its member states to carry out its mandate in an effective and efficient manner. We thank you, Mr. Chairperson, for giving us the floor, and we wish all of us a productive meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Saudi Arabia. Now, we have an NGO from Bangladesh asking for the floor. Please identify yourself before starting your intervention. Please go ahead. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I would like to, first of all, appreciate your effort to conduct this during the COVID, and also appreciate UNESCO's effort to create an awareness about safeguarding of ICH. But particularly, I would like to thank the Dhaka office of the UNESCO for consistently trying to create an awareness, and I would like to thank the Azerbaijan government. And hopefully, finally, by next year, we should have our first community-led ICH inventory. And with the help of all the communities, and it has been such a wonderful awareness building tool that we have been using so that we can safeguard not just cultural practices, but also empower various communities. Thank you so much for giving me the floor to talk. Thank you.
Thank you, NGO. I understand Botswana. I recognize you. Please take the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson, for giving us the floor. And since Botswana is taking the floor for the first time, would like to congratulate Jamaica for hosting this online session. Botswana would like to thank the Secretariat for organizing the online session, which seems to be the only option for the committee to meet during this difficult time of COVID-19 pandemic. Botswana is pleased to have been nominated as a committee member during the 8th session of the General Assembly of the State Parties to the 2003 Convention. Botswana has been a state party to the convention since 2010, and this is the first time to become a committee member. Botswana wishes to also appreciate the Director General's recognition of Botswana Potter's plight brought by the COVID-19 pandemic. I thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you, Botswana. I want to thank you all for your interventions. I see that we've gone through the list of speakers and we can now go to the next item. Thank you all for your participation. We now move to item 6, report of the Non-Governmental Organizations Forum. Mr. Secretary, Tim, the floor is yours to present this item. I'm sorry, Tim, I will go to item 10.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Madam Chairperson.
Yes. So we can now open item 10, establishment of the evaluation body for the 2021 cycle. As indicated in the provisional timetable of the session, this item will be open today, but it will not be finalized until later. This is the only item of our meeting which will not be conducted entirely online, since the voting will take place physically at UNESCO headquarters. This is because regulations require a secret ballot voting. I now give the floor to the Secretariat to explain the voting procedure in detail. Mr. Hohinata, the floor is yours.
Merci, Madame la Présidente. Pour ce point, le comité est invité à adopter les termes de référence de l'organe d'évaluation qui se trouve à l'annexe 1 du document de travail 10. Le comité est également invité à nommer 2 experts du groupe 3 et le groupe 4 et une ONG du groupe 5B, et ceci en conformité à la section B de l'article 39 du règlement intérieur du comité et la décision 14/18. Il est important de préciser que les élections des membres de l'organe d'évaluation ont lieu au scrutin secret. Le comité est demandé aussi à renommer les 9 membres élus les années précédentes. Les candidats ont été proposés par les États parties concernés par l'intermédiaire de chaque président ou présidente des groupes électoraux. Un maximum de 3 candidats a été proposé tel que le prévoit le paragraphe 28 des directives opérationnelles. Les candidatures reçues dans chaque groupe électoral sont les suivants. Un expert candidat pour le groupe 3. 3 experts candidats pour le groupe 4. 3 ONG candidates pour le groupe 5B. La liste des candidats se trouve à l'annexe 2 du document 10, qui comprend également les sites intranet et demandes d'accréditation dans le cas des ONG et les CV pour les experts. Pour le groupe 3, nous avons un seul candidat, ce qui signifie que le nombre de candidats correspond au nombre de sièges à pourvoir. Dans ce cas, c'est la liste optimale en clean slate et l'expert est nommé automatiquement sans élection. L'année dernière, le comité a introduit une nouvelle pratique concernant l'ordre d'examen et d'évaluation des dossiers de candidature. La lettre Q a été sélectionnée par un tirage au sort. Ainsi, les dossiers du cycle 2020 ont été examinés et présentés dans l'ordre alphabétique anglais en commençant par Q. Ceci a permis aux États dont la lettre commence par les dernières lettres de l'alphabet de ne pas voir l'examen de leur candidature tout le temps en dernier. Il est donc proposé au comité de sélectionner la lettre qui déterminera l'ordre d'examen des dossiers pour le cycle 2021. Madame la Présidente, je souhaiterais passer maintenant pour expliquer les procédures de vote. Comme vous avez dit, l'élection des nouveaux membres de l'organe d'évaluation ne peut pas se dérouler en ligne. En effet, l'élection des membres de l'organe d'évaluation doit se tenir à bulletin secret. Encore une fois, le vote ne peut donc se faire qu'en présentiel. Le secrétariat a envoyé des informations sur les procédures de vote le 10 décembre qui sont reflétées dans le document d'information générale qui est publié sur le site intranet de la Convention. Comme il est d'usage pour un vote en présentiel, vous allez devoir désigner 2 volontaires qui feront office de scrutateurs pour l'élection. Ces 2 volontaires doivent être physiquement présents à Paris pour la durée du vote. En effet, nous avons préparé dans la salle 3, au siège de l'UNESCO, un espace de vote avec un isoloir. Le vote aura lieu demain, le mardi 15 décembre, dans la salle 3, de 11h à 12h30, l'heure Paris, en suivant le calendrier de vote qui a été communiqué aux membres du comité et qui est affiché aux écrans. Comme le vote se déroulera au siège de l'UNESCO, toutes les délégations membres du comité doivent désigner un représentant qui peut être physiquement présent à Paris pour voter. Au moment du vote, il sera demandé à cette personne de présenter une pièce d'identité qui pourra clairement indiquer quelle délégation est représentée, par exemple le badge de l'UNESCO. Cette personne signera également la feuille d'émargement. Les délégations n'ayant pas de représentant en France peuvent désigner un individu de leur choix basé en France ayant le droit de vote, à l'exception des personnes qui représentent déjà un autre État du comité. Les lettres d'accréditation doivent suivre la pratique habituelle, à savoir qu'elles doivent être signées par le chef d'État, le chef du gouvernement ou le ministre des Affaires étrangères. Le secrétariat demande à ce que cette lettre soit envoyée électroniquement avant la fin d'aujourd'hui à l'adresse indiquée sur les écrans. Lors du vote, le représentant doit également présenter une copie de cette lettre avec sa pièce d'identité personnelle et signer la liste d'émargement. Tout membre du comité qui ne se serait pas présenté pour voter pendant le temps imparti sera considéré comme absent. Les deux scrutateurs que vous allez désigner aujourd'hui et les membres du secrétariat seront présents pendant cette période de vote et pendant le dépouillement des votes. Lors du vote, les membres du comité recevront une enveloppe et un bulletin de vote par siège à pourvoir où figureront les noms de tous les candidats par groupe électoral. Chaque membre du comité votera en entourant les noms des candidats pour qu'ils souhaitent voter à raison d'un candidat par groupe électoral. Vous êtes priés d'entourer d'un cercle les noms des candidats pour lesquels vous souhaitez voter, comme indiqué à l'écran. Il faudra plier les bulletins, les mettre dans l'enveloppe et la sceller. L'enveloppe ne doit porter aucune inscription, s'il vous plaît. L'absence de bulletin de vote dans l'enveloppe sera considérée comme une abstention. Les bulletins comportant plus de noms sélectionnés que le nombre de sièges à pourvoir, ainsi que les bulletins qui ne portent aucune mention d'intention de vote, sont considérés nuls. Si 2 candidats ou plus obtiennent le même nombre de voix, il y aura un second scrutin secret réservé aux candidats ayant obtenu le même nombre de voix. Si tel est le cas, nous vous informerons la date et de l'heure du second vote. Bien que le calendrier provisoire prévoit les résultats définitifs sur le point 10 le samedi 19 décembre cette semaine, la présidente peut décider, en consultation avec le bureau, d'annoncer les résultats plus tôt, une fois que le décompte des voix est finalisé. Pour résumer, Madame la Présidente, il est demandé au comité aujourd'hui de bien vouloir adopter les termes de référence de l'organe d'évaluation et de désigner 2 scrutateurs pour accompagner le vote et son dépouillement qui auront lieu demain. Merci, Madame la Présidente.
Thank you, Ms. Oinato. I propose we proceed in the following order to discuss item 10 today. First, I would like to ask the committee to adopt the terms of reference of the evaluation body for the 2021 cycle. You can find them in Annex 1 of Working Document 10. Then the committee will designate the 2 tellers to monitor the election. Finally, I will suspend item 10 and will consult the Bureau tomorrow as to decide when to announce the results earlier than Saturday. Before moving on to the adoption of the terms of reference, I would first like to ask if anybody wishes to take the floor to ask a question on the voting procedure explained by Fumiko. I see none. I see none. I will now ask the committee to refer to Annex 1 of Working Document 10 to adopt the terms of reference of the evaluation body for the 2021 cycle. You will see the annex on the screen. Are there any comments or questions? I see none. We can therefore proceed to adopt the terms of reference as a whole as they appear in Annex 1 and on the screens. Adopted. We will now proceed with the identification of 2 tellers for the vote. Since we're meeting online, I have in fact made a preliminary consultation through the Secretariat. I understand that 2 delegates are willing to serve as tellers. They are Ms. June Takai from the delegation of Japan and Mr. Ali Omar Farhan from the delegation of Djibouti. I think that Mr. Kai is connected. Could you please confirm your willingness to be designated as one of the tellers? Mr. Kai? Mr. Kai, are you connected? Please indicate that you're willing to be designated as one of the tellers. While we are waiting on Mr. Kai, I will ask Mr. Farhan, if you're connected, would you be willing to be designated to be the other teller? We may be having a little technical difficulty here, right?
Madam Chair, I think Djibouti is asking for the floor.
Please go ahead, Djibouti.
Vous m'entendez? Est-ce qu'on m'entend?
Oui.
Très bien. Je voudrais d'abord féliciter Madame la Présidente, merci de m'accorder la parole. Je voudrais d'abord vous féliciter pour votre présidence, pour cette 15e session de de notre comité. Féliciter ainsi le secrétariat pour le travail abattu pour qu'on puisse se retrouver aujourd'hui, certes en session webinaire, mais c'est toujours agréable de se retrouver nous tous dans la salle, mais bon, le travail continue. Je voudrais confirmer, le scrutateur djiboutien, Monsieur Farhan Ali Omar. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you, Djibouti. Ms. Takai, she connected yet?
Oui, est-ce que vous m'entendez, Madame la Présidente?
Yes, I can.
De la part du Japon et de moi-même, nous serons ravis d'être le teller pour cette élection. Merci.
Thank you. So thank you so much, both of you, for volunteering and taking up the responsibility of teller for the election of the new members of the evaluation body for 20.
Excuse me, Madam Chair,
Your
we've lost
members
sound.
tomorrow
We've lost
on
sound.
how and when to announce the results earlier than Saturday upon the completion of the counting of ballot papers. For the formal adoption of the draft decision, we will most likely go back to item 10 on Saturday as indicated on the provisional timetable to officially recognize the results of the election. When we do so, we will also choose an alphabet letter to determine the order of the examination of nominations for the next cycle. In the meantime, please note that the committee members are expected to vote tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. in room 3 at the UNESCO headquarters. Tim, is there any comment, or we proceed to suspend this item?
Madam Chairperson, we have no comment, so you may proceed to suspend. Thank you.
Okay, the item is suspended. We now move on to item 6, report of the Non-Governmental Organizations Forum. Mr. Secretary, the floor is yours to present this item to us.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. With your permission, I'll go into French again. Madame la Présidente, c'est la première fois qu'un point distinct est inscrit à l'ordre du jour pour que le comité puisse recevoir le rapport du Forum des organisations non gouvernementales. Ceci vient du fait que la session précédente du comité a souhaité entendre d'une manière plus directe la voix des organisations non gouvernementales accréditées. Un tel souhait est en phase avec la conclusion de la réflexion menée par le comité entre 2017 et 2019 qui souligne que le rôle des ONG accréditées dans le soutien à la mise en œuvre de la Convention ainsi que le potentiel inexploité du Forum des ONG et du PCI. Il convient de noter que cette initiative de prévoir un point distinct à l'ordre du jour du comité a été saluée par l'Assemblée générale lors de sa 8e session en septembre cette année. L'annexe au présent document LHE/20/15.com/6 est donc le premier rapport soumis par le Forum des ONG du PCI. Le rapport présente des questions d'organisation et des activités accomplies au cours de la période 2019 et 2020, ainsi que le point de vue du Forum concernant le rôle des ONG accréditées dans la mise en œuvre de la Convention. Madame la Présidente, si vous me permettez, je voudrais inviter Madame Laila Seribasic, représentante des ONG internationales au sein du comité directeur du Forum des ONG du PCI, à prendre la parole pour nous présenter le rapport. Thank you, Madam Chairperson.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary, for this concise presentation. I now give the floor to the ICH NGO Forum.
Thank you for giving me the floor, Madam Chairperson. Let me first to echo previously expressed congratulations to the Secretariat and Jamaica for organizing this online session. The ICH NGO Forum is grateful for the opportunity to provide this report, which was made possible thanks to the committee's decision 14-15. We are also grateful for its inclusion regardless of a restricted agenda of this session. We regard this as a sign of a deepened involvement of NGOs in the functioning of the Convention on the international scale. One of our aims is precisely to work independently yet collaboratively with governments, the Committee and the General Assembly, the UNESCO Secretariat, and other stakeholders on national and international levels in accordance with the principles and objectives of the Convention for the benefit of ICH communities, groups, and individuals, and in the interest of civil society. Established in 2009-2010, the Forum has over time become the principal platform for networking and cooperation among accredited NGOs and for the exchange of information and ideas about safeguarding ICH. In parallel, it has strengthened its governance. The first steering committee was created in 2015, with electoral procedures instituted in 2018, and the bylaws and code of conduct adopted last year. In the context of ongoing reflection process on the advisory functions of accredited NGOs, let us to emphasize that the Forum identified 7 sets of functions, from networking to fostering ethical principles, providing information and sharing experiences about safeguarding practices, advancing cooperation with various stakeholders, contributing to the capacity building program, and last but not least, advancing the committee. Therefore, as it is proposed in the draft decision, we consider that the explicit advisory functions to the committee could incorporate not only the current service in the evaluation body, but also specific thematic issues encompassing experience sharing on good safeguarding practices and participation in follow-up, reporting and monitoring on inscribed elements. The second point we want to underline concerns a great diversity among NGOs accredited to the Convention. This diversity is a strength of the Forum, evidenced in our annual meetings and symposia, the journal and book series Heritage Alive, activities of our working groups, and other joint ventures, such as, for instance, a conference on ICH and resilience in crisis held a month ago in cooperation with ISHCAP. As for events during the 15th COM, yesterday we had a symposium on ICH and tourism during and after COVID, while our General Assembly and meetings of working groups are scheduled from today until Saturday. And of course, you are welcome to attend. As a whole, the Forum prioritizes participatory engagement by its members to the greatest extent possible. This is, however, not always easy to accomplish. To achieve the highest possible engagement of as many NGOs as possible, with all benefiting from their various capacities, perspectives, and expertise, the capacity building tailored specifically for NGOs needs to be advanced. In that, the Forum cannot act alone, taking into account the broadening of our activities and, on the other hand, the current exclusively volunteer, unpaid mode of our operations. The draft decision therefore includes an invitation to state parties to consider supporting the operation of the forum or its specific programs. The third important issue pertains to the still present unbalanced geographical distribution of accredited NGOs. The forum itself should do more in this regard through networking and through direct communication with ICH NGOs from underrepresented regions. We hope that our newly established working group dedicated to this issue will be instrumental in achieving more balanced geographical participation. Finally, let me to underline that the forum feels ready to assume an enhanced advisory role to the committee, including more active role in your deliberations. You may wish to consider how to overcome impediments preventing exchanges at the sessions that would more integrally involve NGOs. We are grateful for the debate that follows and will be happy to respond to questions and comments that you may have. Thank you, Madam Chairperson and the committee for your attention.
Thank you, Madam Seribashik, for your comprehensive presentation on behalf of the ICH NGO Forum. The report clearly shows the contributions that are being made by accredited NGOs in the implementation of the convention and the important role that the ICH NGO Forum has been playing to coordinate their work in numerous ways. The forward-looking suggestions are very much welcome. I now open the floor. Does any committee member wish to take the floor? I know that the report of the non-governmental organizations is of great interest to all. So I wish to open the floor to observers. And I understand that Panama would like to take the floor at this time. Please go ahead, Panama.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
We can hear you well.
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Thank you very much. In regarding this point, our concern is in relation to the draft decision that is submitted for our consideration this afternoon. Our concern is basically, how do you see going forward to consider the forum's request, particularly in what relates to point 6 of this draft decision? Thank you.
Thank you, Panama. I now invite Switzerland to take the floor.
Madam Chair, as we take the floor for the first time, Switzerland would like to congratulate and thank you, Madam Minister, and Jamaica for chairing and hosting this committee meeting. We have only one regret as I look out of the window, is not to be all together in Kingston. Je souhaite également féliciter et remercier le bureau de nous permettre de nous réunir dans ces conditions si particulières. De même, nous sommes très reconnaissants envers l'équipe du secrétariat pour avoir organisé cette session en ligne, l'avoir imaginée et mis en œuvre des solutions techniques créatives. La Suisse tient à remercier le Forum des organisations non gouvernementales pour son rapport et les activités des instances de la société civile au sein de notre convention. Ce rapport reflète également des questions et des enjeux pour mieux structurer et coordonner la participation importante des ONG à la gouvernance et à la mise en œuvre de la Convention. Nous saluons le travail et les réflexions du Forum des ONG et l'encourageons à poursuivre ces efforts de manière concertée et constructive. Nous invitons également le forum à renforcer son organisation et à préciser son rôle et ses contributions possibles pour l'avenir de la Convention. Par conséquent, et pour assurer un suivi, nous soutenons la proposition de maintenir ce point du rapport du Forum des ONG à l'ordre du jour des prochaines sessions du comité. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Thank you, Switzerland. I will ask the Secretariat to read out the list of requests for interventions, because we seem to have a fairly long list of interventions, requests for interventions. Please, Tim, could you?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So for the next committee members, we have Netherlands, Czechia, Sweden, Republic of Korea, and for non-committee members, we have the request from Singapore and from Lithuania. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Sorry, Tim,
Sorry, Madam Chair, we've just had a request from another committee member, being Brazil. So I will reread. Netherlands, Czechia, Sweden, Republic of Korea, Brazil. Then we will pass to Singapore and Lithuania. Thank you.
Tim, we're not hearing you. I know Netherlands, Czechia, Sweden, Republic of Korea.
Can you hear me?
I will identify those, and then if you could, after Netherlands, you could just go through the list again for me, because you would have had additional requests.
Yeah.
So I'll recognize Netherlands.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Do you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you okay.
Thank you, thank you. The Netherlands would like to congratulate you on your chairmanship, and we have full confidence that we will have fruitful outcomes despite the difficult circumstances due to COVID-19 pandemic. We would have loved to come to Jamaica and experience the culture there and the people, and to meet the other committee members, all the state parties, the NGOs, all the experts, our UNESCO family. But also online, we feel one love, one heart. Madam Chair, we think and we thank the ICH NGO Forum for their clear and rich report. We welcome the many levels the Forum is working on, and that is to say all the activities in which the Forum supports the committee and the implementation of the convention. And that is much more than the advisory function to UNESCO. The Forum is also of great help by discussing and presenting broad, important themes in symposia and workshops. Yesterday, we attended the online symposium organized by the Forum on sustainable tourism in a post-COVID situation. Strategies and examples to rebuild tourism in the most responsible way possible were presented by NGOs in different regions in the world. Examples of tourism in which communities participate also in the decision-making, with recommendations on better access to digital media for communities and passports for the responsible tourist. The NGO Forum is currently developing a toolkit on sustainable tourism, which will be available online for NGOs, for governments, heritage organizations, and communities. The NGO Forum is working on issues which have been mentioned by the evaluation body for several years now, this year with even more emphasis. Tourism, over-commercialization, decontextualization, gender, intellectual property are discussion points in relation to the inscription process of files, sometimes leading to referrals. We welcome that the ICH NGO Forum examines, discusses, and reflects on these subjects and report their findings. In this way, NGOs can fulfill their role as mediators. We also welcome the capacity building activities by the Forum to involve as many NGOs of the different regions in the world as possible. And we hope the Forum will be able to continue their important work. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Netherlands. Tim, are you okay now with your audio?
I'm okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, Madam Chair, I'll read out the list as we have it. And there was still, I remind, a question from Panama that I imagine the NGO Forum will address. The next committee members who've asked for the floor are Czechia, Sweden, Republic of Korea, and Brazil. And then as observer states, we have Singapore, Lithuania, and Mauritania. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Thank you. I will now recognize Czechia.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Thanks to the ICH NGO Forum for the historically first and very informative report. We have read it with great interest. We are extremely pleased that the convention has allowed the development of such an open and inclusive platform with so many diverse activities, stamina, and desire to contribute to permanent progress in the area of safeguarding ICH, as well as statutory organization of the convention's work. The activities of the NGO Forum are proof of the dedication and engagement of its individual members. The NGO Forum is not a merely formal association of different organizations. It has created its own agenda and working methods, which they are trying to link systematically with the work of the Intergovernmental Committee and the General Assembly. Taking into consideration the expertise accumulated by the NGO Forum and the desire to facilitate the work of the committee and the Assembly, its contribution and potential should not be underestimated. We should search for the ways how to use their capacity and skills, especially when dealing with persistent challenges, such as effective sharing of good safeguarding practices, monitoring of already inscribed elements, or maybe even assistance for less experienced states in the process of drafting their nomination files to the ICH lists. The possibilities of the committee and the secretariat are often limited, given by different objective constraints, and the capacity of the NGO Forum could significantly help to proceed with resolving different persistent issues. It would be worthwhile considering the request of the NGO Forum to contribute in the debates of the committee on different issues, especially when it comes to important conceptual matters. For example, the NGO Forum could be invited to prepare background materials or proposals to individual items of our agenda, which would be made part of the meeting documents. The committee would thus have access to views and fresh ideas based on a wide range of expert experience. However, such a new approach would probably bring some systematic changes, new administrative challenges, and probably also some financial demands. Because the Secretariat works with the NGO Forum closely, we would like to know their opinion about this general idea of some way of engaging the NGO Forum more in the preparation of the committee meetings. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Czechia. I will now invite Sweden to take the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Since it's the first time that Sweden takes the floor, we want to congratulate you on your chairmanship. Of course, we also had hoped to be where you are, but thank you for the music. To the musicians, thank you, and thank you, Jamaica. Looking forward to our first year in the committee and working together, Sweden also want to thank the Secretariat that has arranged this meeting under extraordinary circumstances and in a short time. Sweden would like to thank the NGO Forum for their first report under a separate item under the committee's agenda. It is of the utmost importance, we think, that this item will be included not only next year, but in the future agendas of the committee meetings as well. The NGOs have a crucial role to play in ensuring that the intangible cultural heritage remains living and dynamic. Therefore, the question of how to increase the participation of NGOs in the implementation is an important issue for the future of this convention. After reading the report, we are glad to see how the work within the NGO Forum has developed in recent years, and that the work carried out is completely in line with the core of the convention. This in itself strengthens the Forum's position as the association of accredited NGOs and the connection to the committee. We also see that there are challenges when it comes to being able to realize parts of the work. And we believe that we, all state parties, must see the value of the NGO's work and be the ones who in the first place and in the best way can create conditions for this. The report gives many good suggestions for the continued work. During Sweden's 4 years in the committee, we look forward to taking further steps towards giving the NGOs a more formalized role. We need knowledge not only about the intangible cultural heritage, but also within different practices. And we all need to work together in this common and important mission. Thank you.
Thank you, Sweden. I will now recognize the Republic of Korea. I'd ask you to take the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Since I'm taking the floor for the first time, I would like to express my appreciation for the excellent leadership of the chairperson, tireless efforts of the ICH Secretariat. Even though we get together virtually, I can feel the collective commitment to safeguarding intangible heritage is quite tangible on the screen. The Republic of Korea is pleased to participate again as a committee member, and I would like to assure our commitment to contributing to the international community's cooperation for the protection of intangible cultural heritage. We appreciate the hard work of the Secretariat and non-governmental organizations following the past discussions on the role of NGOs in implementing the 2003 Convention. We believe that NGOs are best positioned to communicate with, motivate, and energize heritage communities in safeguarding intangible cultural heritage. Moreover, the international network NGOs will facilitate the dissemination of best practices and eventually enhance understanding of each other's ways and lives. We welcome and fully support the requests from the ICH NGO Forum to promote the participation of accredited NGOs in sharing good practice experiences, follow-up of inscribed elements, and assessment of periodic reporting. In recent years, the Forum, in cooperation with the International Information and Networking Center for Intangible Cultural Heritage in the Asia-Pacific region, published volumes on traditional medicine and traditional food in its online journal, #HeritageAlive. As in this example, we expect that there will be increased cooperation with NGOs, other organizations of the convention, and UNESCO regional offices and secretariat in the future. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much. I will now invite Brazil to take the floor.
Gracias, Presidenta. Quisiéramos agradecer por el informe presentado y reafirmar el importante papel que las organizaciones no gubernamentales tienen en los trabajos de esta convención, cuyos resultados dependen del diálogo constructivo entre los gobiernos y sociedad civil. En este contexto, el Fórum de las ONGs representa una oportunidad esencial de diálogo e intercambio de ideas para seguir perfeccionando los mecanismos institucionales existentes y para traer nuevas soluciones a las cuestiones que se vayan presentando. Nos gustaría recibir más informaciones sobre las actividades desarrolladas por las ONGs de forma a poder valorar el aporte que cada una de ellas trae a la convención. Y para eso nos parece que el foro pueda discutir también las mejores formas de diálogo, no solo entre las ONG, la Secretaría y el órgano evaluador, sino también con los miembros del comité. Entendemos que la diversificación geográfica de la participación de las ONGs en la convención no se puede hacer sin un amplio programa de construcción de capacidades. Y creemos que tal diversificación, además de necesaria, puede enriquecer mucho el debate y la calidad del trabajo que realizamos. Gracias, Presidenta.
Thank you. Thank you, Brazil. I will now invite Singapore.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. As this is the first time Singapore is taking the floor, let me first congratulate Madam Chairperson on her appointment and excellent stewardship. I would also like to thank the Secretariat for the hard work in making the virtual session possible. Singapore expresses our deep appreciation to the Steering Committee of the ICH NGO Forum for inviting us to participate in the forum and for co-organizing the symposium on ICH in urban context held in Bogota last year. We are grateful for the acknowledgement of Singapore's involvement at the forum. Our collaboration with the NGO Forum was a positive and enriching experience. Singapore shared our experiences in safeguarding ICH in an urban context and how ICH plays an important role in fostering cultural understanding and social cohesion among diverse urban communities. The rich discussions at the forum provided many insights on good safeguarding practices involving the active participation of communities. Singapore looks forward to future opportunities to share our experiences on the safeguarding of ICH and to further collaborations with the NGO Forum. We believe that the dialogue and networking at the forum promotes mutual understanding between state parties and NGOs. Based on our own positive experience, we encourage all fellow state parties to strengthen their engagement and partnership with accredited NGOs as we work together to advance our common mission to safeguard our intangible cultural heritage. Thank you.
Thank you, Singapore. Lithuania, you may now make your intervention.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First of all, I would like to express our appreciation and joyfulness that the session has successfully started in a new format despite of the global challenges regarding the pandemic situation. Many thanks to Jamaica and UNESCO Secretariat, and also thank you for all this reggae music that enriches the session. I wish also congratulate the Honorable Chairperson, Madam Olivia Grange, for your work and dedication and commitment to the field. Regarding the item 6 and the draft decision 15.6, Lithuania wishes to support it and strongly welcomes the approach which will strengthen the role of NGOs in the functioning of the convention in the future. The scope of activities of the NGOs Forum is impressive, including its highly relevant input in networking, exchange and cooperation among accredited NGOs safeguarding ICH, and in particular into the global reflection processes on listing mechanism reform, ICH in urban context, in emergencies, and COVID-19 or balanced geographical distribution. So, it is essential to keep on with strengthening interactions between the committee and the NGOs forum. Therefore, we consider this decision is certainly a relevant starting point in supporting and developing further the partnership with the NGOs forum. And many thanks for the well-prepared report full of analytical insights. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Lithuania. And now I invite Mauritania to make your intervention.
Hello. Thank you, Madam Chair. First of all, I would like to congratulate you for your leadership. And throughout you, I would like to congratulate the Secretariat and the member of the committee for the quality of the document. La Mauritanie tient tout d'abord à vous exprimer le fait qu'elle se félicite de l'élection des nouveaux États membres à ce comité. Et nous sommes persuadés du travail remarquable que le comité poursuivra malgré la situation sanitaire mondiale et les risques des répercussions déjà ressenties sur ce riche patrimoine et surtout les acteurs culturels à travers le monde qui ont déjà subi les conséquences de cette pandémie. Nous tenons ici à remercier et féliciter le secrétariat et l'ADG Culture au niveau de l'UNESCO pour le travail remarquable accompli à travers cette prise de conscience de la situation et l'appui qui commence à se ressentir au niveau des États membres, au niveau des acteurs culturels. Comme vous le savez, la Mauritanie tient beaucoup à la mise en œuvre de la Convention de 2003 parce que nous sommes convaincus de son importance pour la sauvegarde et la mise en valeur du patrimoine immatériel combien riche et diversifié à travers le monde et dans notre pays. Plusieurs actions sont menées avec des ONG nationales dans le cadre de ce forum. Et nous saluons le travail de coopération avec les États avec lesquels nous avons des biens culturels communs et nous tenons à féliciter l'appui et l'assistance de l'UNESCO à cet effet. Et nous félicitons également le forum des organisations gouvernementales pour la qualité du rapport soumis. Donc, la Mauritanie œuvrera et continuera à œuvrer pour la mise en valeur de ce patrimoine immatériel et nous sommes surtout convaincus du rôle que la société civile devra continuer à jouer parce que c'est elle qui mettra en œuvre la pérennité de ce patrimoine. Y al fin, la Mauritania desea una vez más felicitar a los miembros del comité y el secretaria para la calidad del documento y muchas gracias.
Thank you so much. I now invite Syria to take the floor. Syria, could you please take the floor?
Oui,
or maybe I could move on to
oui, merci. Merci, Madame la Présidente. Nous remercions le Forum des ONG pour son rapport et nous soutenons le maintien du point sur le rapport des forums des organisations non gouvernementales dans l'ordre du jour des sessions futures. La République arabe syrienne attire l'attention sur la contribution déterminante des ONG accréditées dans la réponse qu'apportent nos sociétés pour la sauvegarde du patrimoine vivant, spécifiquement dans les situations d'urgence et en temps de crise. Je rappelle l'articulation de la 8e session de l'Assemblée générale des États parties à la Convention de 2003 autour du patrimoine culturel immatériel, dans les situations d'urgence qui s'est conclu par l'approbation des principes opérationnels et des modalités de sauvegarde du patrimoine culturel immatériel dans les situations d'urgence. Ce qui laisse transparaître la priorité qui serait la nôtre est certainement celle d'un grand nombre d'États parties à la Convention 2003, lesquels font face à des contextes de crise graves, de conflits et de catastrophes naturelles ainsi que sanitaires qui perdurent. Ce qui me permet d'attirer l'attention sur une ONG syrienne qui est le Syria Trust Fund, le Trust syrien pour le développement, qui a apporté une réponse sociétale de la société civile en Syrie et une réponse agile en initiant des mesures d'urgence appropriées en faveur du sauvetage du patrimoine culturel et immatériel syrien. Vous savez, c'est un ONG qui a su mettre en avant l'expertise populaire et le savoir-faire syrien inclusif et traditionnel qui puise sa légitimité dans la richesse et la diversité culturelle ancestrale de la Syrie. Je considère que la présence des ONG avec nous aujourd'hui, leur participation, le reflet du rapport qui a été présenté, n'est que la marque d'un nouvel ère qui commence dans ce 21e siècle sous l'impact tragique de la pandémie du Covid-19. Merci, Madame la Présidente.
Thank you, Syria. I will now invite Burkina Faso to take the floor. If there is a technical difficulty for Burkina Faso to join us, let me invite Palestine.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Merci, Madame la Présidente. Je pense que mes collègues qui m'ont précédé ont dit tout ce que je voulais dire, mais au tout début, et ça ne fait pas de mal, de remercier encore une fois le Forum des ONG et d'insister sur l'importance de leur rôle et aussi le soutien pour que ce rapport ne soit pas le premier et le dernier. C'est un premier rapport et nous en réjouissons et nous souhaitons effectivement, comme les autres collègues, que ça reste un point régulier à l'ordre du jour du comité. Vu le rôle, l'importance du rôle de ce forum et des ONG, et notamment, comme ça a été mentionné avant, dans les cas d'urgence et les cas de conflit armé, bien entendu, et aussi le rôle en ce qui concerne les langues autochtones. Donc, pour toutes ces raisons, je réitère mes remerciements au Forum des ONG et je leur souhaite tout leur succès et nous souhaitons réentendre et relire leur rapport à la prochaine session. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much. I will now give the floor to Mr. Curtis to answer the question from Panama.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. Indeed, going right to the beginning, there was one question which I understand was in fact directed at the Secretariat. I will answer it to the extent possible. If I understand correctly, the delegate of Panama was asking how we're going to go forward, and particularly in relation to paragraph 6 of the draft decision. And indeed, paragraph 6 of the draft decision takes note of a number of potential roles for the NGO Forum. In order to try to be very brief, some of these we can do through actions of the Secretariat. Some of these will be subject to decisions of the committee, and some may be within the ICH NGO Forum. Very briefly, for example, in terms of capacity building, we are ready to move. We need so-called fuel in the car, so to speak. We need financing, extra budgetary financing. If we are able to secure extra budgetary financing for that purpose, there is no reason we cannot do, as we have done in many occasions, a rollout with our field officers to start implementing capacity building programs for NGOs in the field of intangible cultural heritage. And obviously, it could be interesting to specifically focus that on underrepresented regions. In terms of assuming an enhanced advisory role on somatic issues or the sharing of experiences of good safeguarding practices or follow-up of inscribed elements, all of these have been discussed. You will recall we've had reflections on the role of the NGOs, but these do require some statutory decisions which will have to be made by either the committee or the General Assembly if they are to be formalized roles. I remind you, as was also mentioned this morning by the delegation of Japan, that we are in a process of reflection on the listing mechanisms, including their follow-up. That process we haven't advanced as we wished to this year due to the pandemic, but there's by no means is that process stopping, and we intend to continue as soon as we can. Within that process, there may be discussions about the role of the NGO forum. For example, follow-up of inscribed elements to the list, follow-up of on elements inscribed on the lists, as well as the sharing of experiences of good safeguarding practices, both which fall under that. In terms of periodic reporting, it is a very interesting concept to have quote-unquote assessments of the periodic reporting, but that obviously will be a decision that will have to go through intergovernmental processes to see if it's to be implemented officially. I could go on, I won't for now, but I would suppose sum up by saying that this is not the first time these issues are on the table. It is the first time they are part of a specific item for the committee. And we are following closely. I would reiterate that we would be very pleased to implement a capacity building program for NGOs, and we would urge states who are so inclined to approach with possible funding, because the limitations there are really financial. Thank you, Madam Chairperson. I hope that has answered the question. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Let us now move to the draft decision. Please refer to document LHE/20/15.com/6 and its draft decision in paragraph 4. I suggest that we adopt the decision as a whole, as you see it on this screen.
Madam President, I'm requesting the floor. Before you go into the decision, please, is Panama requesting the floor?
Panama, please go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I appreciate the explanation given by Tim Curtis, because that's exactly our concern with this point 6. We can see the value and the crucial role played by the forum. There's no doubt about it. Our delegation completely supports that idea, but we would like to know if by adopting this decision, are we accepting and adopting a new role for the NGOs? For us, it's very important that the forum could help NGOs from those underrepresented regions like ours in GRULAC. We can see them playing a role as an advisory in terms regarding certain thematic issues. But those issues that deal with the follow-up to inscribed elements, the assessment of periodic reporting is something that we need to look at. We need to discuss it among the members of the committee to be able to submit a recommendation to the next assembly. If in this document now, we accept the resolution, the draft resolution, as it is presented to us, are we adopting this new enhanced role for the NGOs? Are we accepting the new role that they will play in terms of evaluation and assessment of our periodic reports? I think that we are not in agreement with that. So we would like to know, how are you going to follow through with this resolution? Thank you.
Thank you, Panama. I'm going to ask the Secretariat.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. Indeed, I understand, I think, the question of Panama. I would just point out that this decision merely takes note of the request. So this decision is not a binding decision that it must be implemented, and there are many aspects of this request. So if the language does not mean you have accepted the request, it just means that as a committee you have taken note of these requests. obviously, for them to be accepted, they would have to be unpacked and presented to future meetings in more detail on some of the elements and separated. But here it's really, since this is the first, I understand the ICH NGO Forum wished to present its ideas, and this is taking note of those ideas. And I remind that those ideas have been discussed in previous committees, and indeed with a special meeting we held where we had both state parties and non-governmental organizations present. So in short, no, you are not endorsing those requests here. You are merely taking note of those requests. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you so much. So can we go ahead and adopt the decision as a whole, as seen on the screens? If there are no objections, I see no objections. I therefore declare decision 15.6 adopted as it appears on the screens. Members, we're running a little behind. I will attempt to take item 7. All right, colleagues, I think we will wrap up today's session. Ladies and gentlemen, we will stop the examination of our agenda items here. But before we finish today's session, I would like to give the floor to the Secretariat for a few practical announcements.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. Just to remind participants that the Bureau will meet for the first time tomorrow at 1 p.m. Paris time. And this meeting will take place on the same Zoom meeting link that you have for this plenary session. This means that those delegates who will arrive in the plenary may witness the Bureau meeting in progress. And we remind you, please be careful to mute all your microphones for the smooth functioning of the meeting. Allow me also to remind you that the Bureau meeting is indeed open to public, but observers cannot take the floor unless without the prior consent of the chairperson, as per Rule 12.4 of the committee's rules. Concerning the election, voting under item 10, the establishment of the evaluation body for the 2021 cycle, will take place, as was mentioned this morning by my colleague Fumiko, at UNESCO headquarters in Paris tomorrow, on Tuesday, 15th of December, from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Paris time in room 3. For details, I would ask you to please refer to the Inf 1.1 general information document, as well as the email sent by the Secretariat on this matter on December the 10th, 2020. Concerning nominations, which is item 8 of the agenda, a message was sent by the Secretariat to all state parties on 3rd of December. Committee members wishing to discuss or amend specific draft decisions on nominations are invited to inform the Secretariat by tomorrow, Tuesday at 10 a.m. Paris time, please, if you may. Thank you, Madam Chairperson.
Thank you, Tim. With that said, I would like to remind you that we will start the main session promptly at 1:30 p.m. Paris time tomorrow with the examination of item 8. Of item 7. We have many nominations to go through, so it is very important to be on time. I would like to seek your cooperation in this regard. Remember that we close each day with a reggae chill moment. We close today with Bob Marley's Turn Your Lights Down Low. It's part of the series Play for Change video series that features Bob Marley's music. And so with that, be safe until tomorrow. I declare today's session adjourned. Thank you.
Turn your light down low and pull your window curtain. Oh, let your moon come shining into our lives again. So say it, ooh, it's been a long, long time. Guess this message for you, girl. But it seems I was never on time. Still I wanna get through to you, girl. On time, on time. Oh, I wanna give you some love. I wanna give you some good, good loving. So high, so high, so high. I wanna give you some good, good loving. Turning your lights down low. Right now, now. You never, never try to resist. Oh no. And let your love come shining in right now, now into our lives again. Saying, ooh, I love you, and I want you to know right now, yeah. Ooh, I love you. And I want you to know right now, yeah, that I wanna give you some love. I wanna give you some good, good love. So high, so high, so high. I wanna give you some good, good loving. I wanna give you some good, good loving.